Hot damn, a commentary and a brony. Haven't done one of those in ages. In fact, why is commentating on bronies so much fun for me? I don't know. Anyways, today's video is gonna be on Matthias, underwear? Matthias Underwear's reviews. And, somewhat ironic, his commentary on a review by Strebiskunk. What is with these fucking names?
Showtime. Hello, Pony. Welcome to something new on this channel. This is a commentary of another review. I think these are kind of popular on YouTube. I know that the TOT professor is well known for these, and I think he's pretty good. And I just want to take some time to talk about this review. Now, I have to say, this reviewer guy, Strebiskunk, is actually pretty entertaining, and he's pretty good.
You might want to keep that in mind.
Episodes of My Little Pony, but he can't review fanfics. He just can't do it. Well, this was a commission that someone came to him with. It's a fanfic review of a story called The 7th Star. And believe me, The 7th Star is a really good fanfiction. Like, it's awesome, this is The 7th Star. Yeah, I'll put a link to it in the description. It's by someone called Mr. Page. And trust me when I say The 7th Star is a really good fanfiction. Like, I give it 5 stars. I give it 7 stars, get it? Anyway, well, this Strebiskunk guy, he didn't have many nice things to say about it.
And that's a bad thing.
I could talk about this all day, but I think the best thing to do would be for me to just get on with it. I'm gonna play the review, and I'm gonna comment on things that require commenting. Well, enough of that. Let's just get into this review commentary.
One point I keep trying to emphasize when talking about fanfiction is that it often follows its own continuity, but this time we're looking at a story called The 7th Star by Mr. Page, which actually tries to weave its way into the show's canon, offering deeper explanations for things that we've already seen. It begins right at the end of Magical Mystery Cure with Twilight's coronation. It starts occurring to Spike that with Twilight becoming a princess, she'll probably be given all sorts of servants to attend to her every need, effectively putting him out of a job. By the time Twilight takes off for her first flight, he begins taking a sad walk around the castle. He takes a moment to look at the stained glass windows depicting the battles with Nightmare Moon and Discord, reflecting on the fact that he isn't in either of them because he was either asleep at the time or couldn't use the elements of harmony. But then he stops at his window, the one showing him as a hero, retrieving the Crystal Heart and helping to save the Crystal Empire. But that seems even more troubling because to him, it feels like he was only helping Twilight achieve her goal, passing her test, and he really only handed the Crystal Heart off to Cadence anyway. He finally wanders outside, probably while humming a Linkin Park song, and sees all of his friends at a garden party. He tries to mentally project all of his angst at them, and then runs back inside looking for a corner to cry in. Eventually Twilight catches up to him and tries to find out what's wrong. Spike then gives a very, very long, tearful speech leading up to some incredibly important thing that he has to tell her.
You might notice that I didn't really say anything for quite a while. Well, that's because the beginning of this review is nice. Strebiskunk does a good job in setting everything up, explaining what's going on, explaining the main points that Spike thinks about in this part of the fanfic. So basically, yeah, he starts out good.
Even though I could have skipped through most of that or just talked apart so that I won't needlessly pad out the video.
But as the review goes on, Strebiskunk's quality of reviewing starts to slip big time.
And all of this is from Spike's point of view, so Twilight is probably standing there thinking, wait a minute, what's going on? Is he about to come out of the closet? Holy crap, does he already have a boyfriend? Is it Big Macintosh? How would that even work?
That was a really stupid joke. First of all, I read this fanfic. I read Spike's speech.
Really? Well, I didn't know that coming from the beginning of the video where you gave it 7 out of 7 stars.
And it just sounds nothing about coming out of the closet or being gay in that speech he does. All Spike does is explain how he's not needed, how Spike's going to get better assistance, and that he's willing to leave, and he tearfully hugs Twilight, tearfully cries, and basically just pours out his soul to her. There's nothing about being gay in anything he says, so why would you make that assumption? Like I said, I read the fanfic, and even if I didn't know what was going on, it's clear that Spike is talking about being replaced and having to leave. Nothing about being gay or having this horrible secret or anything. It's clear what he's feeling.
Wow. Redundancy much? Also, no duh, that wasn't part of this story. That was a joke. A joke that you painfully mistooken. Also, this isn't just a one-time thing. This happens throughout the video.
But finally, Spike tells her everything that's been on his mind lately, so Twilight can finally say, "Oh, Spike, you crazy bitch, I'm never getting rid of you."
No, Twilight did not say that. So Twilight spent a lot more time explaining why Spike is mistaken about this. She did not just say that stupid line. She went into much more detail than that.
See what I mean? Also, I highly doubt that you do like Cyberspunk's review because he does that a lot. Don't believe me? Well, watch.
Oh, but I guess it's on a table now, and that'll make it easier to move. Well, why didn't they bring something like that in the first place? Was it so that Mr. Cake could repeatedly pass out like a schoolgirl after staring at Big Mac's ass all day? Stay away from my sister-in-law! Yeah, maybe you're not aware of this, but you're about to be dragged into a hentai and then eaten! Are you sure you don't have any stronger feelings about it than that? Which means all the Human on Pony Rule 34 is now canon!
Considering they've known each other their whole lives, she points out that just having him around as a friend is more important than anything a servant can do. It's even part of what inspired her to solve the key mark mix up and finish Starswirl the Bearded's final spell. And as for the Crystal Empire thing, Samba totally would have taken over if Spike hadn't been there. So what kind of friend or princess would Twilight be if she just kicked him out? She then reveals that she's been facing some doubt in herself over being a princess, especially since there's almost no one she can turn to for advice, except for the other princesses, of course, but she doesn't really see them that often. But then Spike says, oh, don't worry, Twilight, all those things that you have perfectly legitimate concerns about will turn out just fine, precisely because of all the things that you're worried about, somehow.
That's not what Spike says. That's not even close to what he said. He explains how Twilight has her friends, how she's been through problems before and she's gone through them, how she is competent and able to do things. Spike doesn't say Spike doesn't say that. Spike doesn't say whatever you said, Sir Skunk. Did you even read the story?
Yes, he did read the fanfiction because what he said was in fact in the story. And yes, I have read it, and this is all personal opinion and nothing wrong with you liking it or not, but my god, do you have terrible taste because that fanfiction was shit! Like, seriously, the amount of repetitiveness and emo bullshit inside the story is so bad that I'm pretty sure that this Twilight would probably find the writer and kick his ass for writing such a terrible fucking story. And this Twilight would probably mock the living shit out of the writer and at least feel justified because they at least know there's an even worse writer than Stephanie Meyer. It's funny because those jokes died in 2012 and yet I'm still bringing it up. Memories. Anyways, well, you are right that Spike did say that Twilight has her friends and that she is competent. However, that still doesn't change the fact that the rest of the main six hasn't been in the same situation as Twilight, and Twilight doesn't know how to be a princess. That doesn't mean that you're wrong, but that doesn't make Cyberspunk wrong either. Of course, that is looking past the fact that the show barely exposed Twilight as being a princess and all, so meh.
And Twilight says, okay, cool. Well, I guess I'll be going since you don't need me anymore. God damn it, Spike, I just spent a quarter of the story explaining why I wasn't getting rid of you. Really? Wait, why am I not being fired again? I'm starting to wonder that myself.
Okay, you are not hiding the fact that you hate this story. You're not even really trying. You're just throwing a bunch of comedy, joke, abridged series lines into it like you don't even care. That's not how that conversation goes.
And that's a bad thing. I mean, yeah, people can make serious reviews and still entertain an audience, but that's the thing. You need to entertain an audience. You can't just say,
Why you make jokes?
Because there are people that can make jokes and be informative as well. Just look at these reviewers as an example. Also, you are one to talk about jokes, Mr. Super Cereal Pants!
What basically happens is that after Spike cheers Twilight up about being a princess, Twilight says, and that's why I need this, Spike. And then Spike slowly begins to realize that he is needed. Spike doesn't just walk away again and says, oh, you don't need me anymore. Spike does realize that what's going on. And you keep saying fired, out of the job, like Spike is worried about losing his job. But it never was about his job. The whole thing was about him being afraid of being—
Oh my god! Why are you still talking? You're a fan of the professor, for God's sakes! You would be ashamed that you were doing this. Haven't you watched his commentary on Gem 99? Actually, you know what? You would probably flip out because, shocker.
He didn't search my brodies, and that means he didn't take the shit serially.
Anyway, come here and I'll explain what the story's title means. Now look at my cutie mark and tell me how many stars are there. 6? Oh, isn't that cute? But it's wrong!
Oh, come on. Chester A. Bum reviews are more accurate than this. I know you're trying to be funny, but it's just coming off as you don't really care. Like, you hate this fanfic so much that you're just spitting on it with these stupid, half done review.
You know, I'm starting to think you're just mad at Strebiskunk for hating on a fanfiction that you like. I mean, you don't have to like something to review it. He's done negative reviews before.
In this episode, Discord comes back because they want him to be good, so they have him live with Fluttershy, so she'll be his friend, and then we learn he turned bad because he didn't have any friends, and now he has a friend, so he's good, and he says friendship is magic. The end. Where to even begin with this one?
Why not go into more detail? I mean, when you review fanfic, you have to go into detail. You have to explain the writing, the word choice, the how characters are acting and reacting, how the characters interact, like how they speak to one another, how they think of one another, the way they're conveying emotions, which is done very well in the 7-star fanfic. But that seems to be lost upon you, Strebiskunk.
Actually, he has been doing that. He has been critiquing the emotions the characters are feeling, and later on he will talk about how the story is written and how the characters are acting. In fact, he just got done with the interactions between Spike and Twilight. Again, just because he makes jokes, that doesn't mean he is reviewing.
You see, there are actually 7 stars, and here's how that's supposed to work. The big pink star represents Twilight, while the 5 smaller stars represent her Ponyville friends. But then the white parts peeking out around the edge of the center star are actually part of another star behind it that represents Spike. So of course she won't get rid of him if he's part of her cutie mark, and that's about it. Spike calms down, they both go back out to the party, and everyone goes up to Spike and says, "Dude, the hell's your problem today?"
They don't say what the hell is your problem. They're worried about him. They're generally concerned about him.
Well, of course they all care for him. Strebiskunk said that because that is the joke. Jeez!
Cease. I'm convinced you didn't read this fanfic at all. You probably read synopsis or someone told you about it. No way did you read this fanfic. Because you're judging it really unfairly right now.
He did. He's summarizing what happened in the story because, shocker, most reviewers do that. I'm still convinced that your panties are in a twist.
To be completely fair, a lot of the story's ideas are interesting, like having Spike ask Twilight if she considered him to be her friend before coming to Ponyville, since she always insisted that she had no friends before. And aside from the occasional typo that makes me imagine Spike being played by Squiskar Squigelf,
I have no idea who that is, so your joke fails. Bad referencing. Boo!
It's not his fault that he didn't catch the reference. It's your fault for not knowing.
the writing here is very descriptive and has been earning mostly positive reviews on filmfiction.net. My main concern here is that Spike's internal conflict doesn't actually seem to be based on anything. No.
What? What do you mean it's not based on anything? Didn't you even watch the show? Did you watch Crystal Empire? Didn't you see the Door of Fear scene? Like, what? This is an obvious fear that Spike has of being replaced, of being abandoned. That's part of his character. Don't you see?
Wait, oh my god, you fool! Do you know what you've done? No! Damn it!
No one ever says anything to Spike about Twilight getting new servants, when or if that'll ever happen. He just comes to that conclusion on his own and then spends half the story moping and walking around by himself.
Oh my god, he's actually reviewing the fanfiction! Neato!
Wait, I hear you say. It's common knowledge that those in positions of royalty get assigned all sorts of servants and assistants, so even if no one told Spike about it, it's still reasonable to assume that he could figure it out for himself. Well, theoretical commenter, you have a point, but Spike's motivation here still bothered me.
So you provide a reason why you're wrong, but you don't really give a reason to refute that.
Hey now, let the man finish.
Now, if the story was set in some alternate reality where Spike really was in danger of losing his job, that might make it more compelling, but again, it's set more or less in the show's universe, which means everyone has to be believably in character.
You're bad at this, you know that?
And whenever someone else is around, it always seems clear that they still see Spike in the same way they always have, and they genuinely have no idea why he's upset. And besides, if you're familiar with the show, then you already know Twilight's never gonna give Spike up. She's never gonna let him down. She's never gonna run around and desert him. Oh my god, the story just rickrolled me.
That's the point! Don't you get it?
Oh my god. The story was trolling us the whole time! Damn you, Twilightlicious! Damn you, Terra Strong! Damn!
The point is that Twilight is never gonna abandon Spike. That's the point. We know that. But the focus is on Spike's fear. Oh
my god, this is like the third fucking time that you're telling us the plot! Why are you even saying this shit again? Please don't tell me that we took from the professors that Ben Looney is on par with MLK.
It's supposed to be the author's first ever story that was put on fanfiction.net, and I really believe that for anyone creating content, just being able to put your work out there is the most important thing you could possibly do. Despite how harsh I'm being towards this story, it's not my intention to discourage anyone from sharing their work, especially when there's genuine potential, which there is. I really appreciate it when a fanfiction shows extra effort in remaining faithful to the source material, and like I said, the writing style itself is very good. This particular story just wasn't for me. Although Spike certainly has no shortage of reasons to feel bad, especially with recent episodes, the segments of the show where he unnecessarily overreacts like a giant crybaby tend to be my least favorite parts.
Spike is not overreacting or acting like a crybaby in this story.
I know. That's because you are. Damn!
He's reacting really logically. I mean, you gotta remember, he's still a kid. He's a baby dragon. He's not an adult. He has an attack with the Twilight, and his reasons for wanting to replay.
Oh my fucking skiphead!
I always prefer it when a character's personal issues feel more externally justified, and aside from saying that he probably could have been doing his job better sometimes, this story really didn't do that for me. There were also some pacing issues, with quite a few segments dragging on longer than they needed to. As for
the reason it dragged on for a long time is because we had to take time to focus on Spike's thoughts. Thoughts don't go quickly, thoughts move slowly. So when we focus on a character's thoughts, the story has to slow down in order to slowly get in sync with the character's thought process as they move from one thing to another. That's how good writing works.
Well, good stories can have slow pacing, and sometimes that is the biggest problem with the story. Anyone that has read Deathly Hallows can tell you why the camping is terrible.
whether I would recommend it, no, I'm sorry, I personally wouldn't. But like I said, it's mostly been getting positive reviews, so if you're in the mood for a Spike story that's kinda sad just for the sake of being sad, then maybe the other issues I had won't be a big deal for you.
This is not a Spike story where he's sad just to be sad. That is not what this is about at all. No. No, just no. I keep saying it, and I'll continue to say it.
Yeah, no.
But that seems to be lost upon you, Strebiskunk. I don't know why. This review was just terrible. All you did was make jokes and mock it. You did talk about the good writing and the good points at the end, but this entire review was just negative. It was really biased.
I'm done. Final thoughts. This is the worst commentary I've seen. Far from it, but my God, was this bad. You blatantly missed what Strebiskunk was saying, whether it was a joke or not, and clearly had a bias towards the review because he was being negative towards a story you like. This is the internet, where people can say shit about things that people like. Deal with it. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that you do want to continue on doing commentary, seeing how you haven't posted another one since. You need to have a change in style now. With that said, this is David Was Here, not whatever Ryan had to say, that jerk, saying everyone is an asshole, but I'm the only one that isn't denying it. Oh, also this.
Is this the Payne residence?
No, this is Patrick.